All right, well, welcome back to another episode of Basement Birds, Logan and Reid, and we're having a great time at recording this last-minute episode. Normally we record a little bit earlier in the week. Today is Thursday, so this is getting posted tomorrow.
Yep.
Meaning that Reid's going to do a lot of work tonight when we're done to get this posted tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep. Anything for the pod, you know? You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes. You're welcome for the pod. We've both had quite an interesting week.
Absolutely.
We'll start with what Reid did, and then we'll kind of transition into what I did a little bit later in the episode. But
so
Reid had an interesting week.
Yeah.
You had a family?
My family has been in town visiting.
Wait a second, what? Oh,
so
they're not still there, are they? Can we get them on the podcast?
So my parents leave tomorrow. They did ask to be on the podcast.
Oh, so they still are there.
But I do not
still are there.
I do not have the equipment necessary to bring more people on this podcast from my space.
I think you do. I think you're just full of baloney. What do you need?
I don't think I do.
You need more than one camera? I don't think you do.
Okay,
you got Tony on there for the Halloween live stream last year.
True. Okay. Anyway. My family's been in town.
That's four
my brother
anyways.
went home. My brother went home Wednesday. My parents went home yesterday, or excuse me, tomorrow. Oh boy. And this time just so happens to coincide with my favorite youth sporting event of the calendar year.
Wait a second. Is it youth bobcat sledding? I remember.
It is. You are close, but unfortunately it is not.
Dang it.
It is not.
Discus throwing.
No, that's the Olympics. That already happened.
Yes, but this is youth discus throwing.
None other than the Little League World Series. I grew up watching the Little League World Series every summer. Okay, ingrained in my childhood. Okay, I don't know about you, but I think it's
there's
great
not
to
enough
watch.
going on in Wisconsin, is what it sounds like. Because I can honestly tell you, I've never watched the Little League World Series one time ever.
Well, my family and I would go on trips to different baseball stadiums around the country, and we would always watch the Little League World Series when it came August. And when I moved out here, I realized that I am only about an hour 45 away from the Little League complex up in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Okay.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
So on Tuesday, me and my family all piled in the vehicle and hit the open road to head up to Williamsport to watch some 12-year-olds play baseball.
Wow.
And
doesn't that not sound like a humdinger of a day?
It may be one of the coolest sporting events that I've seen live. Okay.
That seems like a stretch,
really cool.
But okay.
Okay.
Explain, please.
So the complex is very small. It would make it seem like it's larger, but there's only two fields. Okay, and the one has this massive hill in the outfield that you can sit on. So that's the thing you do when you go to Little League World Series. You sit on the hill. So we sat on the hill, and we watched the team from Pennsylvania, repping PA, play the team from Hawaii. Hawaii ended up winning 3-1, but they're now knocked out of the tournament. But it was just really cool.
Far if they're going all the way to Pennsylvania from Hawaii.
Well, there's international teams,
not close.
too. There's teams from
I was
Japan,
going to say, because
Mexico,
that's like
Canada, Puerto Rico. Yeah, Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah, Australia. Yeah, there's teams from all over. So we watched that game, and it was really cool. It was something that I've seen on TV, countless times, and then I finally got to see it in person, And there's a lot it was very cool seeing that atmosphere live and seeing seeing the Little League World Series. I'm like, this is neat. As someone that grew up watching it, I'm like, this is really cool. That was my big oh, I've seen this countless times and I'm finally seeing it in person kind of thing.
Your full circle moment.
Exactly. It was a full circle moment. Everyone really enjoyed it. They had a lot of fun. We went to the store, got some merch. I got a hat and a baseball that I don't have handy right now.
Did you get a baseball hat?
It technically is a baseball hat, yes. So yes, I got a baseball, a hat, and a hat that is a baseball hat, I guess.
I see. And you got a baseball really cool. ball?
A baseball ball, yes. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was it was really cool though. Getting there was easy. Parking was easy there. Okay, getting out of it though, absolute nightmare. Williamsport.
Yeah.
I think it's a town of only 20,000 people.
I see.
27,000. Okay, so you have all these people, converge on Williamsport for this 1 week, and it can get a little tight, because Williamsport is home to Little League. Like Little League is headquartered there. And obviously they host, this this World Series, it took us probably a good 35 minutes to get out of the parking lot, which was not ideal by any means, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
Amateur
It was
hour.
really cool. What was
What
that?
it sounds like. Amateur hour in terms of parking lot design here.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the way they have it set up is you have the Little League complex, which is like here. It's kind of vertical like this, okay? And then across the street you have this. It's the South Williamsport Sports Complex, which is just like a ton of football and baseball fields and stuff, and you pretty much park on all the football fields and stuff like that. And there's really only, they're like each lot, like they have 3 different lots, I think, and each lot only has one way in and one way out. So everyone needs to follow through that one, exit when everyone's trying to leave, which can make it a little interesting. It moved quite slow, but it was worth it because we got to go to the League World Series, got to get some merch. It was a really cool time. Saw a decent game. Hawaii got out to a strong start, and then Pennsylvania started to bring it back together in the 6th. But we got to see like they have this hill beyond the hill that all these kids slide down on, like with cardboard sleds. Like that's a thing to do. So we got to see that, and like ESPN did this bit where like they just like send all the kids down at once. That was super cool. So we got to see that. Like it was cool. It's like a little like peek behind the curtain about how it all works. So if anyone is remotely close to Williamsport and remotely interested in baseball, I would highly recommend going. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you the last time I was at a baseball game.
Was that when you threw the first pitch out at the Cubs game?
I don't think maybe. We're actually going. We have a work event at a baseball game tomorrow night.
Oh,
that'll be
exciting.
fun. A farm league team, but
a farm league team.
They're in the farm league, I think, or they're in the
Frontier League.
Frontier League. I'm sorry, I said farm league. I meant Frontier League.
Oh, is it a certain team with a bird as a logo that I know about?
Yeah. Well, they used to be Jammer the Jackhammer was their mascot, and he had a really cool nose. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. Last year I was getting kind of into baseball a little bit. I know I was talking to you, and obviously you are into baseball just a little bit, working for a baseball team.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah,
and so I'm looking forward to that, but it will not be nearly as fun as the Little League World Series. I can tell you that right now.
No. Yeah, like the funny thing, too, is prior to going to Williamsport, I had never been to a Little League baseball game or any youth baseball game that I was not playing in. Okay.
But you've watched it on TV.
But I've watched it on TV this whole time. I'm like, man, that would be really cool to go to and see this in person and, check that off the bucket list. So there we go.
Cool. Yeah. No,
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And so do they play all the Little League games in Pennsylvania then, or how does that work? I don't really know how the structure of this tournament is.
So the way they have it is they have different regions, So like Pennsylvania represented the Mid-Atlantic region. So you go through you have to win your district first, and then you're sectional, and then you go to regionals, and then you need to win the region, and the winners of all these regions clinch the ticket to the Little League World Series, and that's what takes place in Williamsport. So all the other regions are hosted throughout the country, and then they all converge on Pennsylvania for pretty much a week and a half. The tournament starts on the 14th, and it ends on Sunday. The championship will happen on the 15th, so it's a 9-day or 11-day tournament. That all these teams play together, and crown a champion, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's still very much it's obviously it's competition and stuff, but they put a strong emphasis on playing fair and sportsmanship and these kids just having fun and enjoying this experience because, not it's only 20 teams that make the tournament, So it's quite selective. Fun fact too, I just remember this. 2 years ago, there was a team from the town that I live in that made it to the Little League World Series.
Yeah.
They did not win it, but they made it, which is still pretty cool. And that was the talk of the town. We had them out for a game after, gave them a parade around, the ballpark. That was a lot of fun.
Well, there was a team a couple of years ago. This was maybe 5-6 years ago. That was from Chicago that won the Little League World Series and then got disqualified Because they had kids that were too old or something.
Old, yeah.
Some
what's the crazy
some little
thing about
shady
that?
business going on there.
Okay, you thought that was 5 years ago. That was 2014.
No. That was not 10 years ago.
I am looking at the Wikipedia article. It was the Jackie Robinson West Little League program.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
Yes,
this
it
was
was.
2014.
So okay, maybe it was 10 years ago.
They won the U.S.
Maybe
side.
I'm just a
before
little
losing
older
to
than I thought I was.
South Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
That's. Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so maybe it was a little longer ago than I had thought originally. But hey, you know what? That's what happens when you get older. You totally lose track of time.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah. That was a crazy story, though. I remember when that happened, though.
Yeah.
You know, they had, like, they were, you know, they were good. Oh, it was that they used players from outside the Chicago area.
But there was also a time when they were too old. There was players that were too old.
There have been a couple teams that have done that, yeah.
And they get caught, like in it.
Yes.
You know, that's pretty moronic to get caught like that, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, Little League does, like, a surprisingly good job of, like, policing that stuff.
I'm sure they do. They got to turn in their birth certificates or something, right?
I don't know if, like, policing it is the right word, but, like, sniffing it out, you know? I mean, like, ooh, this team looks a little suspicious, you know? Maybe they're not all on the up and up.
Don't be suspicious.
Exactly.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be I don't know the other words of the song. But, yeah.
But
I don't know.
That's my story.
Never watched Little League World Series. Maybe we'll have to. When's the championship? This Sunday?
The championship is Sunday, I think, at 3 o'clock.
Sunday.
Yep.
Tune in at 3 o'clock. All right.
Yep.
Well, maybe I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, it'll be a blast.
You know, I think it will be. But so you went to the Little League World Series, and I had quite the week of my own this past week. I got the pleasure of golfing with a Stanley Cup champion.
Wow. How about that?
Stanley Cup champion in my foursome. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you that before I tell you who it was.
I know who it was.
I know. But the people who are listening don't. You're totally ruining the surprise here. So I don't appreciate that.
Boy, who could this be?
I don't know. He was hails from Saskatchewan, Canada. I don't know if that's where he's actually from. He's from somewhere in Canada.
Okay.
But he played for the 2010 Chicago Blackhawks.
Okay, I'm narrowing it down in my mind, trying to figure out who this could be.
He, I believe, just went down to the minors, and then he was eventually traded to the Chicago Wolves. So I saw him play for the Chicago Blackhawks, 2010.
Okay.
Saw him play for the Chicago Wolves. And he is now retired, and I've played golf with him now twice. And that man...
Okay. You've go golf with him twice?
Please. Yeah, I have. Well, this is the first time I've golfed with him in my group, so golfed with him in an outing.
Like you've been at the same
previous
outing
time
as him.
he was in
I gotcha.
the group ahead of us. So
Gotcha,
I mean, we saw him a lot, but he wasn't with our group.
Yeah, but this time he was in your group.
This time he was in our group, and that man, was Brent Sopel.
Patrick Kane. Oh,
no, Brent Sopel, basically the same caliber player as Patrick Kane.
Yeah, they're practically the same.
He was
person.
in our foursome. They had the same creepy mustache, or Sopel had a weird mustache when he played.
Yeah,
but he is a Stanley Cup champion. He's got a ring. He's got a ring.
He played for a lot of teams. My word.
Of course.
Where did you say he was from?
He's from Canada.
Yeah, you said Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
He's from Calgary.
What province is Calgary in?
Alberta?
Okay, so maybe he's from Alberta, Canada. Not Saskatchewan.
He played for a lot of teams.
Man,
he played. One second. Let's just go through the teams he played for. He played with the Vancouver Canucks, the New York Islanders, the Los Angeles Kings, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Atlanta Thrashers, and the Montreal Canadiens. Wow.
The Thrashers, huh? The Thrash Bang Boom Poppers, or what?
Yeah. Wow, good for him.
Yeah, that's a throwback. And then he played for the Chicago Wolves for a long time. But he's a great guy. He's got a foundation now that raises money for dyslexic children. So dyslexia in kids is something that he struggled with. He gave a little bit of a talk afterward.
Okay.
This was a hockey golf outing, and he gave a little bit of a talk afterward about the foundation that he has. And he's actually hosting a dinner with the Stanley Cup coming up here in a couple months.
Wow.
I think.
Wow. Okay.
So you can pay to eat dinner with the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Stanley Cup in person?
My family was to the Hall of Fame a while ago.
Yeah.
However, I was so young that I don't really remember. That is one of my things that I want to go back and see again, is to see the Stanley Cup. My question, though, you say that he's doing this dinner with the Stanley Cup. Can past Stanley Cup champions just request the Stanley Cup to be at a dinner like that?
See, that's a valid question, and this was a question that was raised to him when we were golfing. Like, hey, how does that work? Well, apparently because he's got this foundation. Okay. And he's working with the National Hockey League and they're some of their branches that do like community outreach and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's apparently how it was set up for him.
Okay,
to be able
cool.
to do that. He's a very nice guy, very good golfer.
Yeah.
He hit him long, hit him straight, and that's all you can ask for when you're playing golf.
Yeah,
you could tell he definitely played hockey before, just based on his golf swing. The name of his foundation, in case you're wondering what it is, so you can look it up. The Brent Sopel Foundation,
that's original.
Creative name there. Brent Sopel Foundation for Dyslexia. Is the name. But just on Instagram, the Instagram handle is the Brent Sopel Foundation. You can look it up. He's got kind of a cool logo.
This is a raffle ticket for this? Oh, gosh.
No.
This says donate to our cause and enter the raffle for 2 tickets for dinner with the Cup.
Oh.
How do I just buy I was
told it was pay for that, but it may very well be. I may have misunderstood what it is.
What about his annual golf event? Are you going to be golfing in that too?
Maybe.
Sopel Foundation golf event?
I may very well be doing that, but he
do you know that you're doing
guy.
that, or are you thinking about doing it? Like, did he tell you?
No, I was thinking about it. He did bring it up.
Well, the cheapest one is a whole sponsorship, which is $5,000.
Well, that's not for a ticket to play in the golf outing, though. That's
true.
just
where's the stuff to
how much does it cost per golfer?
It doesn't say.
But he's a great guy. Like I said, Stanley Cup champion. He's got a ring. I asked him a few questions, if he missed playing hockey or anything like that. And he said, not really. No, he's kind of moved past that portion of his life. I think he's in a lot of, it seemed to me that he's in a lot of, has a lot of health, not health problems necessarily, but body issues just from playing hockey for so long, and his body is kind of giving up on him a little bit. So, but he, plays a lot of golf. I think does a lot of stuff with this foundation, which is awesome. That he's kind of bringing awareness to that. He said in his speech that it's something that he struggled with for his whole life. Sure. So, a very serious issue. It's good, a lot of different foundations raising a lot of different money for a lot of different things, which is awesome.
That's one crazy thing that I think people don't think about professional athletes so much, is that, especially in hockey, those guys are pushing themselves to the absolute limit for maybe 15 years max.
Right.
And they just have so many lasting issues that can, come from it, especially when guys play through injuries in the playoffs and stuff like that. This guy played with a broken foot, but now his left toe or his left big toe goes 90 degrees to the right because he played on it, stuff like that. That's crazy.
Right. And again, is just a normal guy, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you see these people on TV and professional athletes, I think in general. But you know, at the end of the day, he's just another dude. You know, he likes to play golf and you know, shoot the business a little bit, and you know, talk to you about whatever it is, you know. And like I said, he had a pretty interesting speech. So if you ever get a chance to hear Mr. Sipple talk, I would highly suggest it because he's got some real inspiring things to say. Sure. Which is awesome, and we raised a lot of money for the hockey program that we were at the golf outing for, which is awesome as well.
I was going to ask you this too. How did the organizer of this outing get Brent Sopel there?
So the assistant coach, one of the coaches, I guess is pretty good friends with him. The goalie coach, has a connection with him, and. It has been pretty good friends with him. He met him at, I believe, the gym or the rink or something, and the friendship kind of evolved. And so, you know, not push came to shove, but one thing led to another, and here comes Brent Sopel to this golf outing. So that's really cool. I think he golfs a lot. I think he golfs in multiple outings. You know, like I said, I've golfed with him in the same outing as him before. Yeah. So it really wasn't anything new, but. You know, to each their own. Well, that's all I can say. And again, he's doing really well, and you know, spoke very highly of his former team and former teammates, which is awesome. He said it's a very close knit group of guys in the 2010 Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, and he can pick up the phone right now and call any single one of them, and he knows that they would answer and be there for him for whatever he needed. So. That's you know, it's as much negative news as we've seen about the Chicago Blackhawks lately, and kind of, you know, just hockey in general can maybe have a little bit of a stigma, but he had a lot of positive things to say about teams that he was on, and you know, winning the Stanley Cup obviously is every young hockey player's dream to go and win the cup, and so you know, it was fun. It was fun to play, and now, you know, again, I can say I played golf with the Stanley Cup champion, and not a lot of people can say that, you know.
Boom. So absolutely.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Well, that's a perfect segue to explode into odd news. That was a rough transition.
Wow.
I can lead us off. Because I think I got a good one here, if that's okay.
For our Odd News segment, welcome back to Odd News.
This one is entitled 3 Bison Escape from Connecticut Farm for Return. Which I'm like, this is interesting.
That's concerning. That's
concerning. The owner of a Connecticut farm said that 3 bison escaped earlier this week, came back on their own, but they found a 4th bison. They escaped. They knocked over a section of wire fence, and all 3 returned to the farm on their own Tuesday night. They escaped on Sunday. They returned on Tuesday. But then they were accompanied by a newborn baby bison. Oh gosh, they didn't say that it was a baby. They say though that what they've been saying. They're saying that this bison just went on. They're saying they went on maternity leave, which is hilarious. You know, they say that they had an eventful few days.
Leave the farm.
Yeah, they were meeting and greeting with the public, learning the rules of the road, and finally they decided it was time to take a nap in the comforts of their own pasture. That's what police said. And now this farmer, or this owner of the bison, is hoping to help the public to choose a name for this new bison baby. I thought when I read this that they were going to come back with another full-grown bison, which would have been hilarious if they just made friends with this bison. But, you know, I guess we could just assume that the one bison was pregnant and gave birth while they were away, and I feel like that, you know, kind of makes the story not as exciting. I'm kind of disappointed now.
Yeah. That one, that's a fell flat a little bit.
They got me with the headline. What can I say? That was a good headline.
Have you ever seen a bison in person, though?
I have, yes. They are massive.
They are massive creatures.
They're huge.
They are very otherworldly, you know. I guess a lot of the animals, when you take a step back and you're like, wait a second. Yeah, and so they've got the big old horns and, you know, big like car like bodies, you know. Yeah. And kind of built like a sack of potatoes, but
they are. They look very dense.
Yes. Yeah, I would not want to go head to head with one of those bad boys.
Oh, absolutely not. Those things are no shot.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. So, but I've only seen them in zoos. I know in Illinois, I believe in some parts of Illinois, they have them just that roam around and are not in the zoo. So.
Yeah, I saw them when we were in either South or North Dakota.
Yeah.
They are large animals.
They are large and in charge, Reid. That's what they
I'm
are.
Pretty sure they're out in the Dakotas.
Large and in charge.
Maybe it was
Colorado. Size of a barge.
I don't know. I saw them somewhere.
Oh. I don't know about Colorado. I feel like they just have mountain goats in Colorado. But
maybe they have a mountain bison.
Maybe. You know what else they have in Colorado?
Oh, gosh. Some other animal that escaped? What?
Fedoras.
Fedoras.
You know what a fedora is? It's a type of hat.
I do. Yeah. Do you own a fedora?
Just recently, not too long, I wish I had a fedora, but I more specifically wish I had this fedora because just recently a screen-matched Indiana Jones fedora sold for over $630,000.
Jeez.
That is well over $500,000 that this famous fedora sold for in 1984's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah,
and,
wow.
Prop Store. You tell me you've heard of Prop Store.
Prop stores or prop store?
Prop Store. Prop Store is like an auction site where that has a lot of really famous stuff that comes and goes up for auction. Prop Store. No. I've seen some YouTube videos of some collections that they've had that they've sold.
No, I have not heard of Prop Store. No.
Well, you should check it out sometime because
I'm
Prop Store is really
now.
cool, but they sometimes have some really cool stuff. This fedora that sold for over $630,000 was made specifically for the second installment of the Indiana Jones series and matches film shots, production shots, and behind-the-scenes footage of Harrison Ford in the village on set location.
So they're like
Sri
photo
Lanka.
matches, essentially.
It's photo matched. It's screen matched in the movie.
Wow.
This was during the minecart chase scene. I don't know how familiar you are with the Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I think I roughly know
series.
Yeah,
I will call it a series because they've got like 16 movies now. But
there's multiples. Yeah.
They were in the minecart chase. That's cool. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. I'm a big Temple of Doom fan. Or not Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Because some Indiana Jones purists will claim that there is only one Indiana Jones film, and that's Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then there's the rest of them. They call them the Raiders of the Lost Ark films, not the Indiana Jones films.
Interesting. Okay,
but,
okay. A little bit of beef there. Gotcha.
One of the greatest series of all times. That was like the golden age of movies. They had Indiana Jones come out. They had Star Wars come out. They had all those George Lucas films. They had, Back to the Future and whatnot too, which is awesome.
That was a good time for movies. Yeah,
George Lucas was really on a humdinger of a
absolute
run
tear
there with different movies.
Yeah.
So good for George Lucas. I wish I was George Lucas. Lucasfilms is now a subsidiary of the Disney Corporation. So Disney, please don't sue us. Thank you. You're welcome. But they've got a lot going on, Disney and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I think some of them are on HBO Max, maybe in Netflix, maybe. I don't know. I saw recently that some of the Indiana Jones movies are on one of those streaming platforms. So if you've never seen at least Raiders, you gotta watch Raiders of the. Have you watched Raiders of the Lost Ark? Did we talk about this? How's your movie run going?
I believe
by
it's
the way?
on the list. I've been kind of slacking. I have not watched a movie in a while.
Yeah, I know you would be. I knew it.
But Raiders of the Lost Ark is on it. So
yes, it should be.
Yes, it's on there. Yeah,
good.
I needed to get back on it though.
Watch that one next. I don't care what you're doing. Tomorrow, what are you doing? Nothing. You're watching Raiders of the Lost Ark tomorrow.
Tomorrow I need to work.
No, you don't. No.
I
tell your boss Raiders of the Lost Ark is calling your name.
Okay, I have added a couple movies to the list. I've added Daddy's Home, Mall Cop, Grown Ups, and Psycho.
You've never watched Paul Blart Mall Cop?
No.
Oh?
I've seen the trailer for it a lot. It looked really funny when it came out. So I pretty much got the gist of it.
Why are you watching the trailer for Paul Blart Mall Cop?
This is when it came out, not now. I'm not like watching it constantly now.
When it came out, sure. Yeah,
I
know. I've seen your YouTube history, dude. I know you're watching movie trailers for some reason. So
I like movies. You know, I'm now.
You stayed signed into my TV here.
I'm now the movie guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that what you are? You calling yourself that? You're calling yourself the movie guy, or what?
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No.
One thing I just thought of quick to update. Speaking of updates, while my brother was here, we got the beer operation underway.
Oh,
the beer brewing. So it is currently sitting in my kitchen, brewing away. The yeast is yeasting. The yeast is fermenting. You know, it's bubbling. It's working. In about 3 weeks.
Yeast is
in about 3 weeks, it'll be ready to bottle.
Yeast is a crazy organism. We had a big company-wide meeting, and they just compared all the employees to yeast, and so we're on a big yeast kick for some reason. But I heard it's pretty cool. So
yeast is
I'm glad that
it eats the sugars and stuff, and that's how it makes alcohol. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I heard it makes bread. Step one was good.
Step one went well. Next step is in 3 weeks I need to bottle it. And then a couple days after that, I need to pasteurize it, and then it will be ready to drink.
So do you put it in a pasture? Let's go.
No, yeah.
Oh.
I put on a cow suit, like the Chick-fil-A cow suit that you got to wear that one time.
Hey,
and I
that's a story.
Yeah.
That's a story in
that's
itself.
A story for
I forgot about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe next week we'll tell the cow story when I had to dress up like a cow at Chick-fil-A.
I also have mascot stories when I was mascot, so we can talk about those as well, too. We could have a whole episode
related to... You weren't a cow, though, were you?
I was a racing sausage.
No. Even better.
That's got to be
We should talk about mascots next week.
All right, let's
because we're just about out of time.
We are.
I like it. So mark it down.
Yep.
Calendar
mascot
next
talk.
week. Mascot talk.
Yep.
Right here. Basement Birds. None of us dress up like a bird, but that's all right.
That's okay.
We can caw. Caw! 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 Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but thanks for listening. We're on all sorts of social media platforms.
Yeah. Instagram
all
and
of the
TikTok.
platforms.
At Basement Birds. We forgot to plug the socials last episode, too.
Well, I didn't forget this day.
But we got them this time. Yeah. Yeah.
Reid's got you covered. At Basement Birds.
Right.
YouTube. Instagram. TikTok. Yeah. You're supposed to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's wrestling.
I don't know wrestling. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah. So, cool. Have a great weekend. We got Labor Day coming up, so that's not this weekend. That's next
weekend,
maybe?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk maybe more about that next week, too. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Good.
We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.